Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. Top 5 breakout candidates for this Colorado Buffaloes program heading into the 2024 season. Now, the rules for this list, seeming that we've talked so at length with the transfers coming in, the true freshmen that are coming in, taking a look back at guys that you saw flash in 2023, but you think and we think are going to take it up a notch in 2024 and have that breakout year. Really excited to get into this one. You look at the young talent that's on this Colorado roster. There are a lot of names that you're excited about heading into 2024. Really excited to get into this one. Before we do, just want to say thank you to you guys and a massive shout out, as always, to the Colorado fans. Y'all know this is a program that I have a blast talking about. Can't thank you guys enough for all the support you guys have shown the boys. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. And more importantly, would love to hear from you guys and kind of your sleepers, your breakout candidates for this Colorado team heading into 2024. That is, one thing I appreciate the most about the Colorado fans. You guys always giving me a ton of input. I learn a ton from you guys in the comment section, so would love to hear from you guys as well. And without further ado, let's get into this one. And the number one breakout candidate for me is going to be Alton McCaskill. I'm going to cheat a little bit and talk about Dylan Edwards as well. What I'm most excited for is what this running back room looks like with a revamped offensive line. It was really hard for Colorado to get much going on the ground. Quite frankly, the offensive line just wasn't good enough. Coach Prime addresses that in the transfer portal. We've talked at length about the steps we think this offensive line takes. And if it does, you have a couple running backs in this room that I think can have those breakout seasons. Now, I want to start with Alton McCaskill, who I think is largely flying under the radar, kind of redshirted last year, played in 4 games, chose to sit out the rest of the season and continue to rehab that knee injury. I want to take you guys back to Alton McCaskill at Houston during his true freshman year, where he was a freshman All-American, averaged over 5 yards per carry. What I'm most excited about is what does Alton McCaskill look like fully healthy behind a revamped Colorado offensive line? And I would also throw in Dylan Edwards, who's going into year 2 and quite frankly was a massive surprise for me in terms of how productive he was for Colorado in that 2023 season. This is a guy that has that game-changing kind of playmaking ability with the speed that Dylan Edwards had. You go back to the TCU game and you just see when Dylan Edwards has the football in his hand, he is a guy that can make game-changing plays with the speed that he has, not only as a ball carrier, but a receiver out of the backfield, had 36 catches for almost 300 yards. What does it look like with Dylan Edwards behind an offensive line that is going to let him operate in a little bit more space? And even more importantly, what does it look like when Dylan Edwards puts on a little bit more weight heading into that year 2? That one thing you wanted to see a little bit more from Dylan Edwards is the yards after contact, being able to absorb contact, all things that you largely see true freshmen struggle with year 1 at the college level. Dylan Edwards putting on a little bit more weight in the offseason, maintaining that speed, having an offensive line that's going to allow him to operate more in space. I think you see Alton McCaskill, Dylan Edwards take massive steps in the right direction in 2024. Extremely excited about that running back room. Next breakout candidate, and again, this is a very fun prospect to talk about. That is Amarion Miller, who you go back and watch that USC game. Amarion Miller, that was a special outing for him. Now, that was really the only game where you saw him really flash, but you saw a big body that's a fluid mover, but most importantly, is very good at working vertically down the field, averaged 21.3 yards per catch during his true freshman year for Colorado. And that's something that, in my mind, I'm really excited for. You have guys like Jimmy Horn and guys like Travis Hunter who are exceptional with the football in their hands, working in those short underneath routes. If you have a guy like Amarion Miller, I think Will Shepherd could certainly do this as well, that can stretch the field, make safeties respect what Colorado can do attacking that deeper third. Not only is Amarion Miller going to be making some plays for Colorado, it's going to help guys like Jimmy Horn and guys like Travis Hunter working underneath as well. Amarion Miller, you saw the flashes during a true freshman year in 2023. I would love to see him put it together and kind of see those performances on a more consistent basis from him in 2024. Super excited about Amarion Miller. Now, going to the defensive side of the football, because the rest of the offense, like those guys already broke out last year, right? Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter, Jimmy Horn. You have guys like Will Shepherd coming in. We know those guys are studs. Looking at the defensive side of the football, there's nobody I am more excited about than Cormani McClain. And now I have to give a shout out to both Cormani McClain and also Coach Prime. Like this situation could have gone sideways, right? At a lot of other programs, you might be dealing with Cormani McClain transferring out, not getting as much play time as he wanted early in the season. A lot of credit to Cormani McClain for kind of staying the course, and a lot of credit for Coach Prime, who seemingly handled this situation extremely well. You guys, I'm sure, have seen the workout videos from Cormani. He looks like he has put on that weight, and at the end of the day, we kind of knew. He had a 5-star next to his name, but we knew he would be more of a year 2 guy than a year 1 guy. He needed to put on some weight. He needed to get that college football body. I think he has that heading into year 2. You look at the physical traits, what Cormani McClain can be with a little bit more seasoning and polish. You're looking at an all-conference cornerback, and the hypothetical of Cormani McClain reaching his potential. Travis Hunter, who again is only going into year 3, reaching his potential on the other side. I would ask college football fans, name me a potentially better cornerback duo than Cormani McClain and Travis Hunter. Going back and watching a little Cormani McClain at the high school level, this is a guy that has all the length, is a very, very smooth athlete, is physical at the line of scrimmage, which is also going to help when he's put on that weight. I think Cormani McClain is poised for a breakout year. Again, ton of credit to him and Coach Prime for really figuring out that situation. If he tackles better, gets a little bit more physical, I mean, you're looking at a cornerback that can be one of the better corners that you see across the country. Next guy that I want to shout out, I have to give the Colorado fans, I said at the top, you guys give me a lot of input, and I go back and watch some of the film of what you guys are kind of saying. Y'all told me to stop sleeping on Amari McNeil. Turned on the tape, and you guys were right. You take a look at this Colorado defensive line, and it's no secret that they struggled at the point of attack, but big Amari McNeil certainly did not. Now, is Amari McNeil going to be a stat sheet stuffer in terms of 10-plus sacks, 15 tackles for loss in 2024? No, that's not his game. Plays with really powerful hands, plays with low pads, can take on double teams extremely well, and can be that disruptive force. Amari McNeil is going to be a guy that if he truly breaks out, not only does he make some plays for this Colorado defense, but more importantly, he's going to allow other defensive linemen and more importantly, those linebackers to play clean and to play downhill. And that's something that, I mean, you look at Levonta Bentley, and when Trevor Woods went to that linebacker spot, they didn't really have the opportunity to play clean because the defensive line was losing at the point of attack. Excuse me. Offensive linemen were working up to the second level with ease. If you have a guy in Amari McNeil who's in the center of that defense that's sitting on double teams, being disruptive, not only is he going to make plays, but guys like Levonta Bentley, Trevor Woods, Demoy Kennedy, those guys are going to make plays as well. And that's probably what I'm most excited for Amari McNeil to build on heading into 2024. And the last name I want to mention, in what is just an absolutely loaded defensive backroom, right? You go out and get a guy like Preston Hodge. You have some good safeties on this roster. I'm looking at Miles Slusher, who was one of my favorite transfer portal gets for Colorado during that 2023 cycle. This is a guy that, when healthy at Arkansas, and quite frankly, when healthy against TCU, played really good for Colorado. And you saw at times Colorado struggled with tackling. Miles Slusher is not a guy that struggles with tackling. And that's something that I think is massively important. This is a guy that you can do all sorts of things with. You can play him in the box. He can play that free safety center field role, the versatility that he brings. But I think the most important thing you get with Miles Slusher is, in the landscape of college football, where so many offenses want to put as much speed on the field as they can, you can have a guy that can match that speed with Miles Slusher, but also not give up much in the run game. He is extremely physical along the line of scrimmage, can tackle extremely well. Miles Slusher is a chess piece in this Colorado defense, and if he stays healthy, I mean, you're looking at a phenomenal safety for Colorado in 2024. And again, what is a loaded room? But I think we're talking about Miles Slusher, one, earning a job, two, being an all-conference performer for Colorado. Now, the rest of these breakout players, we've talked at length, and we'll continue to talk about the impact that these transfers are going to have, the impact that these true freshmen are going to have, guys like Draylon Miller, guys like Jordan Seaton. This is a Colorado team that is much more well-rounded and deep and complete than we saw in 2023. And I think that's what excites me the most. And that the competition and practice is significantly better. I think if you want to earn a spot starting for this Colorado team, you're going to have to earn it, which I don't think we could say 12 months ago for that Colorado roster. Coach Prime has done a phenomenal job getting this roster where it needs to be to compete at the highest level of college football. Very excited. These are some of my breakout players. Again, would love to hear from you guys in the comment section. If y'all do enjoy the content, again, consider subscribing to the channel program. Y'all know I love talking about. Can't thank you guys enough for all the support you guys have shown, and we'll talk to y'all later.